guys want me and Jimmy together?
Sure, come on in.
Old school Bitcoin group?
Yeah.
You lost some weight.
See, man. Yeah. Good.
Are you doing carnivore?
No, I'm just eating much less.
Okay.
You
Well,
just,
that works.
You have to stop eating everything. So just scoot on in there. We'll squeeze on the couch.
2 hours late. Dan.
Dan. Have we met before?
We have, yeah. Dinner. Two dinners. Craig Wright dinner.
Oh, the Craig Wright dinner.
Yeah.
All right, so we're joined by Jimmy
dinner.
Song and Tone Vays.
Oh, we've been live the whole time. You guys don't stop.
We never stop.
Oh, that's right. Hey, guys. Back at the World Crypto Network.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys back. And I know you've been doing your seminars all over the world with Tone and the trading and Jimmy with the programming. So it's great to have you guys here at Paralindsay Polis. I know you guys are speaking. What are you going to speak about tomorrow or today, whenever it is?
I got mine today. Jimmy's on tomorrow. Great. So I'm working on some new presentations because you got to recycle them. But for now, I'm still, it used to be called the Inevitable ICO Bubble. The presentation has not changed. The title has. It is now, Has the ICO Bubble Popped? So that was a very well-timed presentation that I've been doing over the last 6 to 9 months. And gonna be time to retire that one soon and moving on.
All right, and Jimmy, what are you going to speak about?
My presentation is titled "Bitcoin: The Ultimate Social Justice." So that should be pretty fun with this crowd to do, and I'm going to talk about how Bitcoin brings freedom and is sort of a very quiet, nonviolent revolution that's going to change the world. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
So is it?
So it's funny. So Jimmy's the programmer talking about Bitcoin and social justice. Completely not what his workshops are about. I'm the trader that hates anything that isn't Bitcoin, talking about ICOs, comparing them to .coms, right? So neither one of us are doing what we do, but what we actually get paid for.
Completely off topic. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like you can't. I do that all the time in my seminars, right? Like I do this for like 16 hours over 2 days or something like that. So it's actually kind of nice to like step out of my technical zone, I guess. I mean, I could do those. But first of all, they're like kind of like difficult to explain, and you usually have like a different kind of audience. I am speaking in London, I think in February, and that's going to be more towards developers. And for a talk like that would be very different. But this is a different crowd, and you got to know your audience, right?
So how is Bitcoin going to bring us social justice? And is it the kind of social justice people are used to, like a social justice warrior?
Well, that's the phrase I am here to reclaim, right? So the idea is people see social justice as sort of feeding people or clothing people or giving them shelter. And my argument is that is not what real social justice is about. It's about giving people freedom and freeing them from oppression. And I think that's far more important than giving them food, right? And that's the wrong conception of social justice. You got to look at the underlying cause. So that's what I'm going to talk about. It's going to be a lot of fun, I hope. And Tone's seen about half of it. We do our presentations over and over because we're not that popular, so it's we could.
Well, it's good to keep them going. I know I've seen Tone's history of Bitcoin presentation a few times, and it gets better each time. And I know Theo does the one with the frogs quite often, and he's really got it down now. He can tell you all about the frogs really quickly. So
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do the same presentation. It's like a comedian, you gotta try out what works, what doesn't work, and then you get those jokes in between the presentation down. You get to engage the crowd. You do the same presentation about a dozen times, you get really good, and then you gotta try out new material. You gotta start something new. And the only one I know that constantly makes new presentations while he's always stressing out is Giacomo. I was just texting, he's like, I gotta make a presentation. I'm like, you were just at Honey Badger. You did a brand new presentation 2 weeks ago. He's like, yeah, I'm doing a new one.
Yeah, I know. And throughout that presentation, he kept saying, I was up at 3 a.m. making these slides. And then at the end, he just had to bomb through them because he had so many slides. And it was a great presentation, but he just didn't have time for
and I don't think he'll ever, and it looks like he'll never do it again. And the presentation here is going to be a whole new one. And I'm sure the same exact thing is going to happen.
He just likes making presentation. I don't know. I was never much a fan of PowerPoint, but he seems to think through it, so it's pretty great.
Yeah, well, it's cool that presentations evolve. You kind of pick up new things as the market moves, as public perception moves as well, and it evolves like Bitcoin does over time.
Yeah, it takes a lot of Yeah, it's nice to get some reps in, and I think that's the real key to making, you know, good speeches and something that the crowd likes and stuff like that is just like, it's nothing but lots and lots of practice. And I probably will have to practice my presentation tonight and make sure all of the stuff is smoothed out. I have certain transitions that I need to like pay attention to and make sure that they're like solid and stuff like that. I've only given this one like 3 times. And you know, you ideally want to give it like 5 or 6 times when you're really comfortable with something, and you know, it's fun. I think we all like Bitcoin and you know, all the opportunities that it gives us. So.
Well, I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with public speaking, but for me, if I can have slides, the slides are my notes. And I'm just going page by page through my notes, and if I forget something, I just read it right off the slide. It can be really fantastic to have that support of the screen with you on the presentation.
Yeah, and that's my trick as well. My presentation are just a bunch of pictures, and I know what I'm going to say, and I can always gauge the crowd. So my presentations rarely have any words. Like, I hate watching presentation with bullet points that the speaker just reads. My presentation, like pictures, Jimmy's presentations are probably going to be a bunch of cartoon pictures. And he's really good at finding those. And
it's my assistant, but yeah.
And yeah, so I really like those. It's just a bunch of pictures. I have those presentations as public, and they're just a bunch of pictures. It's what you say that matters in relation with those pictures.
Absolutely. Visual aids really keep the audience interesting and into your show. And also you can tell jokes through the pictures. There's a lot of unexpected humor that comes up when you put a random picture up that they're not prepared for.
And it keeps people focused 100% on the words as well. You know, if you have a load of bullet points, people are trying to read, they're also trying to listen and process at the same time. Whereas if it's just images or just a few words, just the kind of keywords, it gets the theme in people's heads. Definitely helps out.
And one of the best presenters I've ever seen is Lawrence Lessig, and he does this kind of thing where almost every word he says is a slide, and he'll do, you know, 500 slides for a 5-minute talk. Click, 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 and it's really fantastic to watch him work. And again, all of these presentations here at Paralenzi Pulse will be live on the internet this year. Last year, I know Tone was concerned it was going to take 6 months. It was going to take a year, and boy, did it. It can take a really long time to get these things online, so it's great to do them live and just to get them out even the same day is amazing.
Yeah, my best example of that is in 2017, because I skipped it this year, but in 2017 I spoke at the Anarchapulco conference in Mexico with all the anarchists that are saying, you know, the world doesn't need organization and we will all do it. And so I did over there. I did like the presentation I've never done again. It was the first time I ever did a presentation about the stock market, and I asked them, "Hey, when is this presentation going to be on YouTube?" And they're like, "Oh, we'll get it up quick. We'll get it up quick." I did the presentation in February of 2017. In January of 2018, it finally made it onto YouTube. And I'm like, yep, the anarchists are really taking over. They're really organized.
Yeah, I've been waiting for CoinDesk to put my debate with Joe on YouTube. It's on the CoinDesk website, but like you have to search for it and all this stuff. Like, oh, man, dude, like I want to call this guy out because he keeps like refusing to bet me. So, yeah, very frustrated with that sort of thing. So I'm glad they're doing some live streaming this year.
Well, and especially when you talk to reporters or you do an interview, it's always best to have your own recorder and make your own copy of it, so if there's any problems or if you just want to release it because you said something really cool, you have a copy of it. So it's worth always trying to, it's, you know, one more step, of course, but that extra step can be really good.
And this is where people need to really appreciate live stream channels like the World Crypto Network, like our channels. I do it live because guess what? If I record something and don't do it live, it also takes a long time. I recorded the 3rd episode of Crypto Scam a month ago and I've had no time to edit it to put it up. So this is another reason why you know, it's so much harder to do things live, but hey, it's already out there and it's staying out there.
And when I was doing Mad Bitcoins, it would usually take me more than half a day to make a 5-minute video. Now if I do a live show, in 10 minutes, I have a 10-minute show, and then I get the rest of the day to goof off, so it's pretty great.
So what's the biggest thing, or is there any particular fear that you guys have when you're presenting? You know, anything that goes through your mind that could go wrong? Like, is it text, slides, words, anything like that?
No, it's just the production. Like the only thing that's going to go wrong are things outside of like our control. I think we're good enough public speakers now that there's really not much to worry about. And you get some disruptors, like I know what happened on the cruise. I was teaching a workshop. Well, what I can know about that?
The other thing happened on the cruise. Yeah.
I mean, the unexpected debate before the debate, over the debate.
Very litigious crowd, these anarchists. Yes.
That very classy TMZ style ambushing. Yeah,
right, like that can go wrong, and then. I was teaching my workshop about technical analysis and technical trading, and Roger Ver shows up with some of his crew.
His TMZ crew.
TMZ crew, and like starts asking about fundamental analysis and a technical analysis workshop. How do fundamental analysis play into it? My answer is, well, it doesn't. Well, what about bigger blocks? So it's. That's the other thing that could go wrong in some of these things. But if you're a good speaker and you know what and you have control of the stage, you can get around that.
Well, the technical setup's always a problem. I know musicians back in the day, there's a lot of electronics in the set, and they used to say, we want 1,000 green M&Ms in a brandy glass. And the reason they put that on the writer is they wanted to make sure that you read the writer. If there's 1,000 green M&Ms in the brandy glass, when they touch that microphone, they're not going to get electrocuted. But if the M&Ms aren't there, maybe they didn't plug this in, maybe they didn't plug that in, and maybe you're looking for a real problem when you grab that mic, and you get a real shock. People have been to the hospital over that. So production is very important. Details, yes.
Yeah, for me, the big thing is like if I say something stupid by accident and it gets recorded for all time, that's like the big fear for me is, although, I've done enough live shows with you guys that it's just kind of like, I think I've said all the stupid things that I'm going to say possible. So in a sense, that's kind of immunized me from doing that. And like these live shows are great for practicing public speaking because you have to be able to think on your feet and say things really clearly so that people can understand what you're saying. So yeah, for me, I feel like we've gotten trained pretty well. We've done this quite a few times, so it works.
It's all about practice and doing it over and over again. But yeah, even if you stutter and you say the wrong word or penis or something, you'll get over it. You'll just keep going, and you just make more videos, right? I mean, we'll make another video tomorrow. You'll make another presentation next week. You just keep going, and it doesn't matter that much in the whole scope of things. But of course, I know how it is. You want to be perfectionist. You want to be perfect to the core, but we all make mistakes, and you just have to deal with that and keep going.
Got a rainbow on you.
I'm a rainbow.
Yeah, wow.
The pot of gold is coming right in here.
Yeah. There you go, ladies.
Got a unicorn.
And gentlemen.
Very magical. And they already gave me protection too. I'm good to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What the hell's up with that?
Yeah, that was a very strange. It was a very strange gift. Yeah,
Boy,
but
I am missing something.
Let's see. They gave me a Paralinzy Polis. In the packet says veggie ven, whatever that means, and then inside is there your little protection there.
Yeah. So they did this on
at a computer conference.
They had this on the cruise too.
There was a reason for it to be on the cruise though.
Do you really want to talk about that right now, Tom? Do you want to talk about that, Tom? Because that was interesting. Not only was there a condom in the packet that came on the cruise, but there was also a pregnancy test.
I was concerned.
That was like, what? What?
Too much freedom.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, why am I on this cruise? It's to work on my book. Yeah,
it is.
That's why.
But honestly, though, did you try it out and see if you were pregnant?
They could have at least
no such luck yet.
They could have at least separated a male gift bag from a female gift bag.
Yeah, and then they gave you like these pajamas that everyone
I'm
had.
still using that.
Well, that's because you lost your luggage.
I was very grateful for the fact that they gave us like pajama sweatpants. They've come in very useful.
Those were like the ugliest things ever. Like, I guess they were really comfortable, but I refused to wear them because it had like coins bank all over it, and like it just didn't look very good. But like everybody wore it.
I flew here in those.
Nice.
Yeah, I did notice that like a lot of the people that on the cruise were attractive, but as soon as they wore those pajamas, they looked nasty. They was kind of kind of an interesting.
Well, hopefully that way you won't have to use the pregnancy test.
Well, maybe there was a hidden meaning, and the condom was actually had actually got a pin through it, and the pregnancy test is to kind of show don't trust, verify.
Ooh. And it could be we're trying to
there
fool.
was a Jagermeister in there too.
Yeah. It's all
That's
making
sending
sense
a lot
now.
of mixed messages there. I'm not sure
Okay,
what they
aspirin,
expect.
it was just such a strange
and all kind of pills. There was a Viagra pill. There was a
seasickness
sleeping
pill.
pill, a seasickness pill.
Wait, there was a Viagra pill? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta be careful when you just take them all, Jimmy, without looking at the labels. You know, that's a big problem.
One hell of a ride.
Yeah. See what the combination does,
Why am
right?
I-
Yeah.
Why am I feeling certain feelings? Yeah, man. So anyway, it's good to be here. It's good. I mean, Thomas, you made your trip to Europe for the first time like a year ago. How's
Yeah.
it been? You're now like world traveler.
I'm back again. I got to go to England for the first time a couple of weeks ago. And of course, the highlight for me was the British Museum. I've never seen more treasure in one place. I got a tweet message. Guy says, don't miss the Rosetta Stone. And so I stopped everything, went to the museum guide, went down 5 floors and over. And there I am in front of the Rosetta Stone. And it's just so crazy to actually get to see this history that I've read so much about. They stole all the tiles from the Parthenon. Nice to see them in one place, though. That was convenient. A statue of Corfu, some wonderful Assyrian half-man, half-horse statues, all of this, and all in one place at the British Museum, essentially for free, or a £5 donation. So it's wonderful, great museums in London. I hope to see some in Berlin soon. And again, I'm just amazed every time how many friends and fans we have all over the world. People who know Tone, and they know Jimmy, and they know me, and they're kind enough to let me sleep on their couch, and they show me around their communities, and it's just really cool to see all these Bitcoin people in person, and not just through this camera screen, but actually physically in the flesh. So.
Yeah, no, I just came from Amsterdam. Huge turnouts. And again, I really like it. Like, we all enjoyed, we all traveled, try to meet our fans. And but a lot of other YouTubers just stay at home the whole time and don't move. So I think it's important to actually go out and meet your fans.
It's not as scary as you think. You have friends out there, even if you're not YouTube famous or whatever. There's nice people out there that'll let you sleep on their couch. My phone died in London, and I go to the bar, and they're like, "Sir, we are closed. We do not want you here." And I'm like, "I am lost. Please let me charge my phone." And they did. You know, if you ask for something nice for someone, they'll generally do it for you. Like we were saying with Paul, people are generally good. You just have to put yourself out there and say, "I need a phone charger," and you'll probably get one.
Yeah, it is nice, like, getting recognized sometimes, but it is a little bit weird because oftentimes they've seen you a lot of times, but you've never seen them, and they just like sort of come up to you and, you know, act like they know you. I tell all my students, you know, like, this is the perfect way to hack on the networking, because the general rule of networking is nobody gives you anything the first time you meet them. And if they do, then you should probably be in sales. But if you're not, then you need to meet them like 7-8 times before they'll actually like recommend you for something. But if they've seen you on TV or YouTube or something, it's like a whole different story. They've seen you like 20 times. So there's like sort of this implicit trust, which is like absolutely fascinating to me, because it's like, do you really know? You've seen me on screen, but that's about it. And you know, I try to keep my private life very private. For a good reason, but you know, it's this weird dynamic that you enter into when you know, been recognized by people and such.
It is really amazing. They all seem like they know you. They come up to me and say, like, I say, "Hi, I'm Tom," and they're like, "Oh, I know you're Tom." And like minutes later, they're telling me how they listen to me on their commute, and they listen to me with their friends, and they listen to me in the background, and then they say they listen to me in the shower. I'm like, "Oh, I never thought about that one. I never thought we'd go there, but I guess it's a good thing." And the other funny one is they always say, "I listen to you at 2x speed. Why are you talking so slowly?" I don't know how to come back with that one. I try to talk as fast as I can, but it's difficult.
It's a little easier when you pre-record, but when you're live, it's very hard to speak very fast.
You have to think, and then you have to speak. Not a lot of people do that first step.
Well, you have to do both at the same time if you actually want to speak quite quickly. Unless you're Lalu, in which case you can speak like 200 miles per hour every time.
I saw a speech with him, and they said, please slow down, and he did for a couple of minutes, and then he went right back to talking fast. Like, he cannot do it. So
yeah, he's crazy.
All right, guys. I think we gotta get going
and do our own show.
Yeah, we gotta do maybe a show. We'll see. People want their price analysis. But thanks so much for having us on. Maybe we'll swing by tomorrow or Sunday if you guys.
That'd be great. We'll be here and enjoy the conference. Be sure to check out Prague, the old city, the cathedral. Some beautiful stuff out there. Don't just see the building here.
Yeah.
Try to get
we were
out
here
of it.
last year.
Oh yeah.
So we got
I feel
to walk
I saw
around
about
a
half
lot,
of it,
yeah.
and then somehow I saw the other half yesterday. And even then, I skipped a couple of things. There's always something more.
Well,
so.
I'm jealous that you actually get to see stuff, because pretty much everywhere I go, I'm just stuck in a.
I know you're working on your book.
Yeah.
We should, like, after my presentation, we should definitely sneak into Old Town, walk around for a little bit.
Well, if there's a big steak involved, I am.
There'll be a steak
for it.
involved.
No, it has to be a big steak.
I saw a place called
need proof of
Crazy
steak.
Cow,
Yeah.
and they said
Real
our
steak.
steaks will
was
drive you insane.
Oh no, Jimmy, there was a place that I went to. It was established in like 1300 something. It still has no like lights. You're still eating under candlelight, like old school, bunch of meat.
Okay, all right. It has to be at least like 32 ounces. I want at least 30. Well, I guess
we'll
1 kilogram. Let's just say 1 kilogram.
We'll figure it out.
You gotta switch to metric over here.
Yeah.
It's important.
All
Well,
right,
thanks so
2.2
much, guys, for joining
thank
us.
you. Thanks for having
And
us on.
looking forward to your presentations. They should be all on the live stream. So,
All right.
Tone and Jimmy,
Thanks,
good
guys.
stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah,
again.
good.
Careful there, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right. Well, it's starting to get stuffy in here, huh,
It is,
Dan?
yeah,
Can you feel the musk? It's a strong feeling. We've had a lot of people in this room today.
Stuck in the glass bowl.
Yeah. They call it an aquarium, and they weren't kidding either.
Yeah.
We are the fish.
Some cool guests though. It's been really interesting.
I'm surprised we had 2 masked men on the first day. That's got to be some kind of record. And just, again, appreciation to Samurai Wallet for coming out and speaking to us. I know they're very anonymous. They do not put their identity out there. So to have him here talking about the new features was fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, Smuggler, you can't judge a book by a cover. Very thoughtful gentleman behind the scary mask. So it changed my mind last year when I talked to him about these masked men. I thought, it's kind of absurd. There's cameras everywhere in the world. You have no chance. Certainly voice print, you're over. But he's talking more about the idea of privacy and that he should be able to be anonymous rather than that the mask actually works. I mean, it works a little bit, but we all know you're going to take the mask off eventually, and the government loves to put cameras everywhere, and we're holding 5 of them. There's 20 of them pointing at me right now. So it is pretty amazing to have these cameras and this technology. So, Dan, did you catch any speeches while you're up there?
No, I didn't. I literally I went up for 2 minutes and then came straight back to the fishbowl.
Aha. Well, remember, all the speeches are going to be live streamed on the Paralindsay Polis YouTube account. I think they're doing maybe 3 channels of live stream at the same time. And it's really amazing, like Tone was saying, sometimes it takes so long for these conferences to get online. I always kind of go immediately back to the hotel room to upload stuff because I understand the value of fresh content. And if it's 2 weeks ago, it's an old newspaper, no one cares. But if I can get it out there in the first 2 days, it's fantastic. And then the live stream's even better than that because you can watch it all live right now. So how are we doing on time? I see it's around 4:13. Conference is still going. Live stream still going, Ryan?
Live stream's still going.
That's pretty impressive. We haven't heard much from the chat lately. They probably disabled my tally coin over there. But we might want to check in on the tally coin fundraiser, see how we're doing.
There's some glare on that.
There's some glare on that. Earlier I had a rainbow. So that was very nice, and it sounds like they want to hook up the silent disco thing, but it's kind of, well, just don't drop my laptop. I paid for that with Bcash. It's a collector's item.
Should we take breaks?
Do you want to take a break? If we break, do you think we'll come back?
Yeah, we can come back in 20.
All right. Maybe we'll eat food. I've heard that's a thing that humans do.
Start a new link too.
All right.
I was hoping someone would just put some flakes in the fishbowl for us.
That's right. We keep waiting. Maybe the rainbow would have had some more nutrients than you'd think. But thanks again to everybody for joining us. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. It's free, and that helps people find the show. We're going to be back again soon with more live streaming. If not, we'll be back tomorrow and the next day. It's a 3-day conference here at Paralindsay Polis in Prague, and it's going to be fantastic. So thanks so much for joining us.